Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you live from Central Europe. I hope everybody is having a good start to their weekend, finding some time to relax and enjoy life amongst all the madness that the daily grind brings. Hi Bobo Murad, hi Pachu, hi Ruby, hi Lydia. Nice to see many of our regular students. Hi Bekjan, good to see our members joining in as well. Hi David, welcome everyone. We are looking at IELTS Speaking Part 3, some more practice and information for Band 9. This lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Visit us there. And for general IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com. On both of those websites, we have lots and lots of information and materials to help you, including free speaking materials and practice. So make sure to visit us there. The academic website looks like this with the blue background. Click that big red button to join us there. And for the general IELTS, it's the green background, and you can click that big red button to join there. If you have questions, send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com and I will gladly answer your questions. Hi Rajveer, hi Carolina, nice to see you in this class as well. You're all being very studious and that is fantastic. I'm sure you are improving lots. Okay, so we have speaking part 3 right now, and then the next class after today will be as usual on Wednesday, which will be the 14th, and it will be at the same time as this, and we'll do a brand new speaking part 1, okay? So 14th, same time, speaking part 1, that will be for everyone, and that will be some new material for you as well. All right, so let's get on with some part 3 practice. Now yesterday and even in the class earlier today, I gave lots and lots of tips on how to improve and get a better band score for speaking part 3. So we're going to do some practice and I will give you some more tips as we go along and we do the practice. So let's talk about special events. We're going to get right into some practice here, okay? Practice makes perfect. Let's talk about special events. What are some special events celebrated around the world? So what are some international events? Immediately start to paraphrase the question in your mind. So what are some international events that people celebrate and join together to enjoy regardless of where they are in the world? Lydia says the Floating Lanterns Festival in Hawaii, the Cannes Film Festival in France are some of the frequent and memorable events that many people from different ethnicities celebrate, since each has a significant purpose. Last year, I felt special to have been invited to the first screening of a film in the Cannes Film Festival. I couldn't believe that I got to see the film and the celebrities before any of my colleagues. Very good, Lydia. A little bit of clarification there before the semicolon. A well thought out answer, good detail, good complexity. All right. Bekjan says, across the globe, special events that are celebrated each year are National Women's Day and Environment Day. Very good. It's true. The former is on the 8th of March, while the latter is on the 5th of June. I believe that everyone especially has to pay attention to these days. Yeah, very good. National Women's Day and Environment Day. I think it's also called Earth Day, Bekjan. I'm not sure. I think that's maybe the same, Earth Day. Yeah, those are celebrated around the world. And we also have Children's Day. We have Father's Day, Mother's Day, which are events that are celebrated around the globe. So good thinking. Yeah, that's some quick thinking. Certain religious holidays are celebrated in many countries across the globe as well, like Eid and Christmas. as well, right? So those are some other good ones that might come to mind for some people. And of course, let's not forget about New Year's. Welcoming the New Year's. It may be the Chinese Lunar New Year or the Gregorian New Year, which is the turn of the day from the 31st of December to January 1st. Hassan says there are many festivals around the world that each country celebrates uniquely, such as New Year's Festival, Valentine's Day, and Eid. Yeah, absolutely. Most of these holidays have a root in the history and religion of the country. Right, Hassan? Absolutely. Yeah, Valentine's Day is an interesting one, celebrating the love between couples, and I think that one is becoming more and more popular. And we have a celebration coming up at the end of this month, which has become quite the international phenomenon over the last couple of decades. I haven't seen anybody say that one, surprisingly. And in fact, after this class, I'm going pumpkin carving with my daughter. Does anybody know what I'm talking about here? And I see Jyotish Krishnan saying Halloween. Halloween is coming up. Yeah, celebrating the Day of the Dead. And in Western culture, that's Halloween. In some cultures, it's also called the Day of the Dead. Europeans call it the Day of the Dead. Or in Mexico, in US, Canada, it's Halloween. Yeah, absolutely. And Carolina says Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is coming up in Canada, not far away as well. In the US, it's a little bit later. XJ says Teacher's Day. Yeah, I guess Teacher's Day is celebrated as well. Shub Shirat says, what is Halloween? And Shub Shirat, if you see Mahara's pumpkins, then there you go. So, all right. There are several major celebrations that are welcomed by numerous cultures around the globe each year. These include Women's Day, Valentine's Day, New Year's, and Halloween, to name a few. Most of these are rooted in the cultural history of many countries. In fact, I'm preparing to carve a pumpkin for Halloween just today. Yeah. Halloween, probably one of the only holidays I never learned to spell properly, because it's Halloween, not Halloween. All right. Okay, so here we go, students. Yeah, answer, explanation, example. Keep your thinking broad, right? Here we go. Let's talk about special events. What are some special events celebrated around the world? Make sure to speak and repeat, everyone. Speak and repeat. That will exercise your brain. I'm kind of like an aerobics teacher, but for your brain. And when you're doing aerobics, you got to copy the teacher doing the aerobics. I'm doing the English aerobics for your brain. That's what they say. They say languages are like aerobics for the brain. And one way that you do that best is by copying what I say. Here we go. There are several major celebrations that are welcomed by numerous cultures around the globe each year. These include Women's Day, Valentine's Day, New Year's, and Halloween, to name a few. Most of these are rooted in the cultural history of many countries. In fact, I'm preparing to carve a pumpkin for Halloween just today. Yeah. And we might add some uh, quantitative language, like on October 31st. And for those of you wondering, Day of the Dead is usually the day after November 1st. All right. Next question. Let's keep going. Just keep putting yourself forward. I'm loving the diversity of answers that I'm seeing from everyone. Here we go. Why do you think people like to gather in large groups to experience sport games? It's quite different question. Why is that? Why do people like to gather in large groups to experience sport games? I mean, we have these massive stadiums. We get together at pubs and clubs and restaurants to enjoy these sport games together. Why do we do that? Romaine says, as a weekend warrior, I particularly enjoy football championships that occur every 4 years. FIFA, on this occasion, people all over the world tend to celebrate their team's participation in large groups, whether their performance during the competition. I'm personally vividly supportive to any African team. Romaine, but why are you gathering? So why are you getting together with other people? Why not just watch it at home by yourself going, yeah. Some people do that. But why do people like to get together in groups? Right? What's the reason for that? Okay. Ferdov says, a crowd has a unique spirit which attracts many individuals, or people are not only energized but also release stress. Like a lot of sports, like football stadiums, Olympic Games, world tournaments, draw thousands, tens of thousands of people together under one roof. Yes, Ferdovs, very good. Panya says, people like to gather in large groups for sports games because people from all around the world enjoy sports in groups like cricket. In India, people used to watch cricket okay, Pandya, I think you're on the right track. You need a little bit more information and avoid repetition. Students, it's really important to think about your answers like what, why, how. So why do people like to gather in large groups? I don't think anybody has yet clearly answered that. Okay. Niha, I see you're answering it. So Niha says, well, individuals are social animals, so they prefer to spend time with their kith and kins because sometimes they feel bored from their daily routines and want color in their life, so they join others to cheer their favorite sports teams on. Okay. Abhay says, people love to gather for experiencing different sports for enjoyment. Me and my family get together on the weekend at least once to enjoy the national cricket match. Okay, for example. Sure. Okay. So answer, example, and the explanation. Okay. David says, this phenomenon generally occurs because individuals feel that they fit in best if they are accompanied by others who share the same passions. I generally go to the stadium every time I can to, beautiful answer, David, to support my team. There's a special feeling there. David, that's genuine, that's original, I love it, it's clear, it's accurate. So the reason that people gather in crowds to cheer on their favorite sports clubs is because they feel a sense of community and positive spirit when they are among others who share their passions for this very reason I get together every weekend during hockey season with my friends to cheer on the Vancouver Canucks. All right. Which is true when hockey is happening. Of course, COVID is having a very negative impact on this. Okay, so here we go. Why do you think people like to gather in large groups to experience sport games? We're social creatures. The common collocation is not social animals, but social creatures. Social animals is understandable. Social creatures is the more accurate collocation. The reason that people gather in crowds to cheer on their favorite sports clubs is because they feel a sense of community and positive spirit when they are among others who share their passions. For this very reason, I get together every weekend during hockey season with my friends to cheer on the Vancouver Canucks. All right. There we go. So, Ayush, turn up the volume. I'm speaking pretty loud. I think I'm loud enough for everyone. If I'm not, let me know. Okay. I'm definitely speaking fairly loudly. I can clearly hear myself. Here we go. Students, next question. Have there been any changes in the way people organize big celebrations compared to 50 years ago? Present perfect. Have there been any changes in the way people organize big celebrations compared to 50 years ago? Let's see what you come up with for that. Make sure to use the present perfect here. Okay. Bekjan says, yes, I definitely think there have been dramatic changes in the way of arranging big celebrations compared to half century ago. Nowadays, people can use their mobile phones to announce any event, like a birthday, by either calling or texting or posting it on Facebook. Bekjan, get into a specific example. Okay. Hassan says, without a doubt, big events have changed significantly. Taking the Olympic Games as an example, previously it included some countries, while these days it has allowed nearly all countries over the globe to participate. Okay. Hassan, the way people organize big celebrations, not changes in the celebrations themselves. However, one point that I really like about your response, Hassan, is that you're showing me two examples of present perfect, have changed significantly and has allowed nearly all countries. It's really nice, okay? So this sentence is present perfect. And when you see present perfect, my recommendation is to try to sneak present perfect into your answer at least twice. So as soon as you realize that the examiner is asking you a question in the present perfect, okay, so have plus past participle, then make sure to answer using the present perfect and work to get two uses of present perfect into your answer. Like what Hassan did, where Hassan's using two present perfect sentences to really show the examiner that it's there, it's clear, he's clear on the tense of the sentence, okay? Seni Sarani says, yes, it is. Celebrations organized modernly use the net for promoting events. Besides that, their preparations are made through many online submissions for reservations. Yeah, Cindy, very good. Your ideas are good. I'd like to see present perfect in your response. So yes, celebrations have changed a fair bit, organized modernly. They have been making use of the internet for promoting events. Okay, so get it in there, Senny. Get in that present perfect. All right. Let's take a couple more. Abhay says, yes, definitely big events have changed. Nowadays, I don't have to wait in queues for tickets. I can easily book my tickets from the comfort of my home. I've been booking tickets for a kabaddi match online. Very good, Abhay. Okay, so get the word organized in there as well. And you've got a fantastic answer. Moria says, yes, I think celebrations like birthdays and weddings are bigger and more expensive compared to previous generations. Last year, my cousin got married with 1,000 guests. Wow, Moria, that's incredible. However, you're not answering the question and you're not using the present perfect. So you have to be careful about that. Okay? So have there been changes? Yes. There have been significant improvements in the way people managed their events compared to half a century ago. Okay, so 50 years, we're jumping back to 1970. In 1970, we were not using the internet like we are today. We were not using modern communication technology. So we want to paraphrase that, okay? People over the past 2 decades have been using the internet and social media to organize both small and big events such as birthdays, weddings, and even major sporting functions. In fact, I have been using Facebook for the past 5 years to organize my birthday parties. Okay, so I'm really getting that present perfect in there. And one interesting strategy that you can use to show an even higher level of natural language for the examiner when the question is present perfect is the first time you use the present perfect, use the full auxiliary verb have. So yes, there have, like emphasize it, really get the examiner to hear it. So yes, there have been significant improvements in the way people managed their events compared to half a century ago. People over the past 2 decades have been using, now here, you can use more natural English by cutting out the HA and contracting the V. Native speakers, when we use the present perfect, often will omit the HA sound and go right to the V. So past 2 decades of, it sounds like an of kind of, but more of an of like that, okay, instead of a of. Okay, so 2 decades of being using the internet and social media to organize both small and big events such as birthdays and weddings and even major sporting functions. In fact, and here you can definitely use the contraction, I've been using Facebook. Just make sure that you clearly pronounce that contraction. So I've been using Facebook for the past 5 years to organize my birthday parties. So the first present perfect, really clearly enunciate the have been changes or have happened or has happened. And then the next present perfect or two that you use the contraction. I've been doing this, people have been doing that, and then you're getting points for being natural as well. Everybody clear on that? Are you picking up that strategy? First time you want to make it clear just so that the examiner can hear the, oh, okay, it's present perfect. And the second time or the third time you use it in that answer, then you contract, so the examiner's going, oh, and the student knows how to contract this naturally. You don't use contractions in your writing unless it's general IELTS task 1, but you do use contractions in your speaking, okay? So use contractions in speaking, but not writing, except informal letter writing in task 1 general IELTS. Okay, you can use them there. Okay, but otherwise don't use contractions. Contractions means when you take words that are commonly used together, like I am, and then you slice the letters and you contract with the apostrophe. So I'm instead of I am, right? Or I've for the present perfect. Okay, everybody clear on that? So practice those contractions and show the contractions, but first always show the clear language. Okay? Pooza says, sir, I got overall band 7, 7.5, 7.5, 6.5, 6.5. Thank you for your guidance. Pooza, that's a fantastic score. You should be proud of yourself. Make sure to continue practice expressing yourself. So bring those writing and speaking scores up to the same level as your comprehension scores, your listening and reading scores. And congratulations. That's a fantastic job, Pooza. I'm really happy, and I'm glad that you came back and shared. I know that you were in many of these classes for quite a while, Pooza. So thanks, Pooza. Good luck in your next steps. Thank you for sharing. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next question. Here we go. Let's discuss family gatherings. What are some positive and negative situations when families get together? All right, so what are some positive and negative situations when families get together? Romain says, owing to the rise of terrorism and the rising number of people participating in events, stronger measures are implemented, making it a little bit more cumbersome. I'm not sure what you're answering there, Romain. What are some positive and negative situations when families get together? Yeah, it's kind of off topic even for the previous question, Romain, so careful. Hassan says the positive points are increasing the bonds among family members and helping each other more and more. The negative points are at some point people have disputes between them or among them when they start discussing issues such as politics and families members meet regularly. That can lessen the passion of missing each other and because they see each other every day. Okay. Hassan, what are positive and negative situations? Situations means events. Okay, we're still on the topic of events here. Okay. Pay careful attention to the question subject and controlling idea in part 3. It's the challenging part, so you have to think twice before you answer. Oa says, today's celebrations have accurate agendas and more details. Okay. All right. I think you're on the last one there, Ois. Pandya says positive situations when families get together or when they join easily with the help of the internet and social media, and negative points are like it's hard to organize. Okay, keep it more simple. Nitesh says, oh, that's a nice question. I think compared to the negative situations, positive situations are more just like many of the family members get to know each other. So that probably, okay, Gabi, Lazurza has a good answer, very short answer. Gabi, you need to put that into a full sentence. So Gabi says weddings and burials. Okay, instead of burials, funerals, Gabi, funerals, weddings and funerals, right? Yeah, that's what we're looking at for this answer. So some of the happier times when family members come together in larger groups are birthdays and weddings. However, the sadder times are funerals or financial strife. In either case, it is important for families to support each other in times of both good and bad. All right. Here we go. So really pay attention. Positive situation is a birthday. Negative situation would be a funeral. Okay? So accidents, protests, injury. That's right, Amanjot. That's what we're looking for. Put it into sentences. Okay? So here we go. What are some positive and negative situations when families get together? So some of the happier times when family members come together in larger groups are birthdays and weddings. However, the sadder times are funerals or financial strife. In either case, it's important for families to support each other in times of both good and bad. Okay? And then again, you might roll into an example. So don't forget those examples. Okay? Now I see some good answers coming up. Prince Tushar says, in recent times, people have moved into nuclear families, so there are multiple situations when they get together. It's a good start. Tushar, what are those situations? Okay. Shub Shirat says, sir, I want to join your course. For how many days is it? I'm going to give my IELTS next June. Shub Shirat, there are lots of materials in our courses. You can definitely study them for a few months. If I had to say, if you watched every video and did every part of the interactive course and all of the exams, we have 6 of them, but we'll have 4 more very soon. Then all of it together, I would say, would take you a good 250 to 300 hours to complete, at least, especially if you're going through it carefully. So lots of content there, and we're always adding to it. Okay. Catherine Pang says the advantageous. Catherine, the word in this situation is advantageous, not advantage situations, but the advantageous situations when families get together to boost relationships and make them strong are birthdays, weddings. The disadvantageous situations are funerals, or perhaps where they keep secrets from each other. Okay, Catherine, I did a little bit of massaging there to your answer to make it sound a bit better and more accurate. Careful with your word choice, or word form in this case. Special Agent Frank says the plus side when families get together and bonding grows exceptionally is when they meet regularly for happy celebrations like birthdays, weddings. And the disadvantage of this is when family members have multiple people speaking, not paying attention to each other, and fighting at funerals or when somebody is injured. Okay, yeah, so I'm adding more to that as well. Good, so Prince Tushar, there's the second half. Birthdays, weddings, festivals are some of the positive situations when families connect. On the other hand, when someone is ill or needs help in terms of advice, they also meet in person to handle these challenging situations. Very good, Prince Tushar. That's much better. Okay, now you're answering that question. Okay. Good. Here's the next question. Kind of a nice question for everybody to consider regardless. Here we go. In your opinion, is it important for extended families to gather at least a few times a year? If yes, why? I'm really curious about your answer for this because I think this culture is really changing around the world these days. So I'm curious how you will respond to this. I'm sure different people have different thoughts. Lydia says, certainly from my perspective, it's significant for extended families to gather at least 5 times a year in order to strengthen social connectedness between grandparents, cousins, uncles, nieces, nephews, and share cultural and family identity. Okay, good, Lydia. I added a little bit of jazz to your response to make it even better. I like how you're using that contraction. That's very good. Kevin Bowie says, I certainly concur that large families of more than 3 generations should meet up regularly, like on a monthly basis, as I believe families should always come first, compared to other platonic relationships like coworkers whom we see daily, as these meetups help members and relatives bond together for better sharing stories. Yeah, the expression that comes to mind, Kevin, from reading your response is blood is thicker than water, right? Blood is thicker than water. Bekshan says, from my perspective, yes, it is imperative for families to meet each other at least 2 to 3 times a year because, in fact, by doing this, they can build strong relationships which can be passed on to the next generation and help in difficult situations. In our families, we always meet at least once a month on special occasions like birthdays. Very good. Bekshan, let's take somebody else. I like seeing these answers. Family is the foundation of society, everyone, and it's important to keep that in mind. David Valencia says, from my point of view, it is crucial that numerous families join regularly, not only to promote communication and cooperation among the members, but also to teach the younger generations how to be positive, happy human beings. In fact, last year, my family gathered at my grandparents' house to celebrate their golden anniversary. And I met people that I'd never seen before, cousins, distant cousins and nieces. Yeah, 50th anniversary, David, would be their golden anniversary. Very good. Okay, fantastic. So I strongly believe that multiple generations of extended families should connect face to face at least half a dozen times a year, like grandparents, uncles, aunts, nephews, and nieces, so that they strengthen family bonds and learn of each other's trials and tribulations. In this way, they build their family heritage and gain a sense of responsibility towards one another. Family is the foundation of society, and as the saying goes, blood is thicker than water. I last gathered with my extended family at my grandparents' golden anniversary last year, and it was a blast. Okay, so kind of a lengthy answer. I just want it to be really expressive here. You can give a long answer like this as long as you stay on topic and you're fluent. Okay, so only try this if you feel that you have a band level of 7.5 or higher. Okay, here we go. This is some high level repetition practice here. Repeat after me. If you've got some great English, don't read, just listen and repeat. In your opinion, is it important for extended family members to gather at least a few times a year? If yes, why? I strongly believe that multiple generations of extended families should connect face-to-face at least half a dozen times a year, like grandparents, uncles, aunts, nephews, and nieces, so that they strengthen family bonds and learn of each other's trials and tribulations. In this way, they build their family heritage and gain a sense of responsibility towards one another. Family is the foundation of society, and as the saying goes, blood is thicker than water. I last gathered with my extended family at my grandparents' golden anniversary last year, and it was a blast. Whew. Okay, you might want to try that again later. The video is being recorded. Okay, and we have one final question here. Let's do this. What are some ways that governments could encourage quality family time for its citizens, and can you give examples? So let's do this one together here. What are some ways that governments could encourage quality family time for its citizens, and can you give examples? Okay, I think this is a very important question in modern day society, as social media and technology is having an adverse effect. So governments and society has a responsibility for this. Let's see what you come up with. OAS says governments have a significant effect on families in direct and indirect ways. For promoting relationships among families, they should create family celebrations as Father's and Mother's and Cousins Day. OAS, I like it. Okay. And create programs that are funded by the taxes, right? A little while ago here in Hungary, I went to a family day event that was sponsored by millions of dollars of government money, and I thought it was fantastic. Okay. Let's see what else. So Romaine says, being from African culture, extended family is a regular reality in the way we deal with relationships. In the past, we would gather quite a few times a year, and that helped to tighten links among family members. Nevertheless, I have to admit that big family meetings are getting scarcer, unfortunately. Okay, Romaine, that was for the previous one. I would love to read what your answer is for the next one, so how governments can help with this. Hassan says the government should encourage families, particularly in this dog-eat-dog world, to have good quality time together. They can know each other more and have better relationships among family members. Consequently, This can increase productivity of the population and reduce depression. Yeah, thereby raising the overall morale of the population. Very good, Hassan. I like that answer. So the government should. Now think about tangibles. So what is something that the government can tangibly do? Okay, David says, well, in the modern day society, rulers can adopt public spaces to promote meetings. In open spaces, also, they can arrange special family competitions at least once a year to promote cooperation. That's clever, David. So, building family team spirit through family competition. I like it. That's tangible. Very good. Gabi Lazurka says the authorities could have a vital role in family time, giving vacation days from work to create social events where people can get together, such as concerts and religious meetings, specifically promoting the family unit. Very good, Gabi. I agree. Or Gabby, sorry, don't know the pronunciation. Different cultures pronounce your name differently. All right. Rajveer says national authorities can build some venues to give discounts for celebrating family events there. Moreover, governments can permit employees a day off during their birthdays and anniversaries and provide some bonuses to sponsor family gatherings. Very clever ideas, Rajveer. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So special venues that are specifically catering to family gatherings. Yeah. AJ Patel says, well, there are certain routes by which the government can encourage precious family time, such as games and social events in which the family members can participate as a team. Yeah, okay. So I believe that national authorities should allocate tax revenue for establishing family centers in each community, which provide space and events for families to gather and enjoy each other's company. These special sites could host family-centric competitions and even give financial incentives for participating. All right. I have heard of plans for such buildings in certain parts of my community. All right, here we go. Repeat after me. What are some ways that governments could encourage quality family time for its citizens? I believe that national authorities should allocate tax revenue for establishing family centers in each community, which provides space and events for families to gather and enjoy each other's company. These special sites could host family-centric competitions and even give financial incentives for participating. I have heard of plans for such buildings in certain parts of my community. Can you give examples? Yes, like an obstacle course competition where the grand prize is a 2-week vacation to Goa for the winning family. Okay, something like that. Why not? Let's be creative. All right. So that is part 3, questions with details, answers, explanations, examples, quantitative language, lexical resource, lots and lots of fluency. And I love the fantastic participation in today's class. If I were to copy paste all of the responses from the chat today, I would have a small book of answers. That's fantastic. Be proud of yourselves. Here you are on your Saturday, many of you late in the evening, practicing, challenging yourself, improving yourself. Hats off to you. I'm proud of you. You should be proud of yourself too. Keep it up, and I'm sure you will meet with lots of success in life. For everybody watching, aehelp.com for academic IELTS, gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. You're very welcome, everyone. Thank you, members, for your great participation and support. Much love back to you all, and I will see you next Wednesday at the same time for some original speaking part 1 strategy and practice. For now, I wish you a great rest of your weekend. Take care of yourselves, and hopefully I'll see you in a few days. I'm Adrian, signing out from Budapest. Bye for now.